Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd share some photographs from my analog camera, which is the La Sardina. It's a lomography camera and I have been enjoying using it. And one thing that's pretty cool about it is that you can do multiple exposures and you can actually decide when you want to take them. So this is where you take 2 or 3 or 4, however many pictures you want on the same frame so the images overlap. So I've tried this out a little bit with various rolls of film and I have been enjoying the experimentation with it and the interesting and quirky results that you can get. I have noticed that if you do a couple of landscapes over the top of each other, they can kind of disappear into each other. So it works better in my experience doing a portrait and a landscape, or two images that are kind of contrast or have high contrast. One of the images is usually quite faded out compared to the other one, so there's one more primary image. I haven't really got to grips with how it all works, but it can make some quite interesting results. So here you can see a picture of my boyfriend over a street scene, and you can kind of see the branches of a tree that's kind of gone onto his face. And this is another one of my boyfriend and a landscape scene. And here you can see that his face is almost totally washed out because it was a very bright white day when I took the landscape photograph. So he kind of ghosts into the background and kind of disappears, which is kind of cool, but it's kind of a little annoying if you were wanting to really see the portrait picture in the multiple exposure. Also, the other obvious downside is that if you do a landscape and a portrait, then one of them is going to be the wrong way round if you actually take your portrait image in the portrait orientation. But I have got some really cool ones, and the most recent ones I've got back were taken recently in spring, and they include some shots of cherry blossom trees nearby, and I absolutely love cherry blossom. So I love this picture of myself with the cherry blossom. You can kind of make out the cherry blossom, but it's more the negative space in and around the branches that you can actually see more than anything else. There's also this really cool one of this church where it's almost like the outline of the church has been cut out in the cherry blossom design because there's so much white in the sky and the background in one of the images that it kind of creates a sort of silhouette. I also tried to take some close-up shots because the La Sardina does have a couple of options for focus. So you have kind of from 1 meter to infinity, which is what I use most often, and then you have up to 0.6 of a meter. So I tried to take some pictures of these daffodils close up, and then I imposed them onto a picture of a map basically, but it came out looking pretty cool. And then here is another shot of my boyfriend ghosting into the background. So that's obviously quite a common theme running through because I take pictures mostly of landscapes and of my boyfriend when we are going out on little walks in the local area because we live in quite a countryside area. I have also been trying to use different types of film. So there's some of the shots are black and white, some of the shots are different ISO, and then there's these, which is the Revolog Tesla film, which is, it has kind of flashes of lightning that appear on the film. They're already on the film, on the frames, so you can't control them and you can't plan for them. They just appear wherever they are on that frame, and boyfriend thinks that it's just stupid because it ruins a good picture, but I think it's kind of part of the fun and the experimentation, and you know, you just don't know what you're going to get, but it can make what would be a slightly more boring picture more exciting. I wouldn't necessarily use that on you know, an image that I really wanted to save and keep special forever, but I do think it's quite fun. Anyway, I think that is all of the images that I have to share. So I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a like, leave a comment and subscribe.